on your mom's trailer. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a break here in a moment, and I don't want to cut you off. So if you stay right there, as soon as we get to the other side of this break, you will be first, and then we'll talk to our good friend Jerry Bowyer. Jerry's going to weigh in on the markets today. He's going to update us on what the Fed Chairman Powell is saying, and we might even talk a little about the political futures market. What is that? Well, Jerry will fill you in just around the corner. Stay tuned to Faith and Finance on American Family Radio. We'll be right back.
Just a few weeks ago, in a small Wisconsin town, a pastor's child was arrested for simply sharing the gospel at a drag queen event for children in the public park. It ended well, but it's both a wake-up call and a teachable moment. I'm Sam Rohr, host of Stand in the Gap Weekend, heard Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Join me, Pastor Isaac Kurgan, and Pastor Matt Scuella, as we learn his story from Wisconsin, Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time.
Hannah's Heart.
Program specifically designed to encourage Christian couples walking through infertility and miscarriage.
This is not a show that's going to promise you a certain outcome, but this is a show that says however God answers your cry, that he's enough.
Hannah's Heart with Ann Cockrell and Kendra White each Saturday afternoon at 5 Central on American Family Radio. You can find the podcast at afr.net.
If you enjoy this radio program, you're going to love all of the many different resources waiting for you at faithfi.com. You'll find more powerful wisdom, podcasts, articles, videos, and more from partners like the National Christian Foundation, Sound Mind Investing, and Christian Healthcare Ministries. Connect with the community of thousands of Christians striving to be good and faithful stewards, and check out all of the free biblical financial advice at faithfi.com. We are grateful for support from Sound Mind Investing in the Faith and Finance program. If you have money in a retirement account or just a general investing account, you know the stock market can sometimes seem like a roller coaster. But it is possible to enjoy both profit and peace of mind in investing, no matter what's happening in the market. You can see a short video webinar on that topic at soundmindinvesting.org. Since 1990, Sound Mind Investing has sought to offer financial wisdom for living well. soundmindinvesting.org.
Thanks for joining us today on Faith and Finance on American Family Radio. In just a moment, we'll be talking to our good friend Jerry Bowyer. He's our resident economist. We've got a lot to cover with Jerry today. But first, Minnie's been waiting patiently in Ohio. Minnie, how can I help you?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. My mom passed away 6 years ago. The kids just signed over their inheritance to me so I can have the home. So it's a new mobile home when she had it built just for her. So it has all the energy efficient things. It's got 7 inches of insulation, double hung, double painted, and all that kind of stuff. And a peaked roof so that the water will run off. Anyways, 3 acres. She spent 30 on the trailer. She spent 20 on the land. She's got $100,000 invested, and I got an appraisal of only $30,000. What do I do? I want to sell it and move back to Texas.
Yeah, boy, that's a huge disparity between what she's got in it and what an appraiser is saying it's worth. Was that actually done by an appraiser? Is it an official appraiser, or was it a broker's price opinion, or what?
It's a realtor.
Just a realtor. Okay, so you didn't actually pay for a licensed appraiser to do a full appraisal.
No, I think she said he was an appraiser, but he was a realtor, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think the first step is to get a second opinion. And that person may be exactly right. And it just may be that for a variety of reasons, the market value is just not supporting what your mom put into it. But I would absolutely, get a second or a third opinion. You could actually hire an appraiser to give you an appraisal, which would cost you $200 or $300, or you could just get another realtor, perhaps. And this person may be that the person I'm about to describe, but what I would look for is someone who really specializes in real estate in your area. Maybe they've sold a couple of trailers in your particular, mobile home area. Maybe they have extensive experience in the surrounding neighborhoods and that kind of thing. So I would look for somebody who can really help you understand what you've got, and just make sure you have a real realistic understanding of the home's value. And then from that point, you just need to work with whoever you decide to go with. And I think it is important that you have a real estate professional working on your behalf, is to clean it thoroughly, remove the clutter, only have necessary furniture, make it look as big as possible, do only any necessary repairs. You don't want to, leave something that will make prospective buyers look someplace else, like leveling issues or, plumbing problems, things like that. And then, you want to, get that realtor to list it at a competitive price. Now, you may end up not getting as much as you thought you should have gotten, but let's at least do our due diligence to make sure that this person wasn't off base. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about that, and I thought to myself, because she put so much money, she got so much money into just the mobile home itself. If they tell me it's not worth anything, it's worth for me to take it to Texas with me, because I know what she has in it, and I know how sound it is, and that way I would have a good home when I started out again.
Yeah, I would just make sure you understand the cost of that and do a lot of homework just to make sure that that's going to make sense in terms of transporting it and all that goes into that. But Minnie, it sounds like you have a little due diligence here to do before you make some decisions. Hopefully you'll find that it's worth, in fact, more than you thought. But this unfortunate reality here is just because we put money into a home doesn't mean we're going to get it out, mobile home or single family home. So I think we've got to understand what is the true market value despite what was put into it, and then decide what is the most prudent course of action. It sounds like you're already thinking through that, but I'd get a second opinion for sure. Thanks for your call today. We appreciate it. Well, it's Friday, which means Jerry Boyer joins us. He's president of Boyer Research. He's our resident economist here at Faith and Finance. And Jerry, if you're going to give a speech, you might as well go to Jackson Hole to do it. That's where Chairman Powell is right now, and apparently he's talking right now about how inflation is still too high, huh?
Yeah, well, I actually have given a speech at Jackson Hole.
Well, there you go. See?
And it was at an economic summit. What I really noticed about Jackson Hole, and I think it really helps explain the quality of the comments that we see coming out of the Fed chairman, is that there's very little oxygen up there.
What do you really think about what he's saying right now, Jerry?
It's very high. It's almost up to the stratosphere. You have a headache a little bit most of the time, and you walk up a few steps and you're out of breath. And you think, am I getting out of shape? It's like, oh no, I'm up where they're, up in the Grand Tetons. When I speak, I have trouble keeping my breath. So I don't know if it affected the quality of my speech, but actually the problem with Chairman Powell isn't intelligence. The problem, in fact, the theologian Cornelius Van Til said, if somebody is highly intelligent and they have the wrong presuppositions, they will more reliably come to the wrong conclusions. So in that sense, intelligence is just, he used the analogy, if you've got a saw and you set it a certain way, a miter saw or whatever, and at night your kid comes in and messes with the settings, a really highly precise miter saw will highly precisely cut the wood the wrong way. And I think the same thing is true when it comes to economics or any worldview issue. So, what he's saying is, oh no, we haven't had a recession yet. Oh no, the economy hasn't slowed down enough. And because in his Keynesian mind, which he is consistently applying, you have to fight inflation by slowing down the economy and maybe risking a recession. So his remarks saying the economy hasn't slowed down have been interpreted by the markets as, we haven't solved the inflation problem yet. By the way, we haven't solved the inflation problem yet, but the solution isn't to slow down the economy. The solution is to speed up the economy. The growth fights inflation. You can get a little bit of price relief if people are too afraid to buy during a recession, but you just go back to the same old problem. And markets interpreted it that way, but they're still trying to figure it out. So the futures market, I'm talking about the Fed futures market. There's a market for everything. We're going to talk about political futures in a moment.
Yes.
One of the markets is essentially saying, what will the Fed do? by the end of the year. And what those markets are predicting, you buy futures in Fed funds. I know that sounds really technical. It's essentially a way of registering your belief and profiting from it if you're right, whether the Fed's going to raise or not. And right now, there's about a 42% probability they'll raise by the end of the year, but before his speech, that was in the 20s. So markets said, okay, we got it. We know how he thinks. He thinks like a Keynesian. The economy hasn't slowed down. We haven't had a recession. He's probably going to keep hiking. And then markets respond accordingly.
Yeah. Just quickly, if you were in Jackson Hole and he handed you the keys to the Fed, what would you be saying, Jerry, about the course forward from here?
Well, when I was in Jackson Hole, no one gave me the keys to the Fed. If someone did, I might melt them down. But what I said in Jackson Hole is that if you believe that being economically productive is a gift of God and part of being in the image of God, and you follow those principles and you support it with sound currency, then you are highly likely as a nation to outpace other nations in terms of economic growth and human flourishing. And then I showed 2,000 years of economic history to show how that played out. So I think if I were there at Jackson Hole for the Fed, I think I'd say the same thing, which is just keep the money stable, don't micromanage the economy, and just reward people for being productive. Don't punish people for being productive, and let the economy do what God created it to do, which is to reflect our reflection of his image in us, to be creative and to be wealth producers.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds so simple, and yet it's very biblical, and that's God's design, what you're describing, Jerry, and from your mouth to God's ear in terms of where we go from here. All right, Jerry, you mentioned there's a futures market for everything, and that includes people putting money down, saying who they think is going to be the next
コーヒ
president.
ー美味しくできたかね
Debates this
コーヒ
week.
ー
What are the political futures saying?
コーヒー美味しくできたかね
うまいよ。
出るときここにあるからカップ出るときちょうだいここに入れるから
In essence, you buy a kind of a security. I mean, it's regulated by the CFTC. You buy that security, and if you buy a Trump future and Trump wins, you get $1, right? So if Trump futures cost 50 cents, then that means that there's a 50% probability that he'll win. Or you can buy, Biden futures or whatever else. Or you can buy futures just with which party will win. If Democrats to win the presidency sells for 57 cents for $1, and what that implies is there's a 57% probability that they'll win, which is exactly what it said. So what shifted this week? Nothing shifted with the probability of which party's going to win the presidency. Well, the Democrats picked up 1 percentage point probability. That's it. So essentially unchanged. Nothing changed with who's going to win the general election. Nothing even changed with who's going to win the primary, not in any substantial way. Vivek Ramaswamy picked up a point or two, but it was definitely not expected. All of the action was in the vice presidential futures market. And it seems that what the futures market is saying is those people might think they're running for president, but they're really running for vice president, and we are going to evaluate the probability of that. So Vivek picked up the most vice presidential futures probability. But he didn't, like I said, he didn't really budge. No one looked at that debate and looked at any of those people and said, oh, they're going to beat Trump in the primary. That didn't happen for anybody. But there were shifts in terms of who might be asked by a nominee Trump to be the vice president.
Fascinating, Jerry. Just 15 seconds left. The futures market, typically more reliable than polls?
Yeah, very much so, because it's skin in the game. When people put skin in the game, when there's money at stake, they pay more attention than just talking to a pollster. Got to sound them off.
Fascinating. Jerry, always appreciate you, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Same to you. God bless.
All right. That's Jerry Boyer. I'm Rob West. On behalf of Robert Youngblood, Jim Henry, and Devin Patrick, this has been Faith and Finance on American Family Radio. Have a great weekend. And do me a favor, come back and join me on Monday. I'll do it all over again. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily shows of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG Greenville, Dallas.
Fed up with the trash our children are exposed to, such as TV shows, movies, and music?
I've had it up to here.
Absolutely.
It breaks my heart.
1 Million Moms is a community of moms who are successfully standing against the evils of the entertainment media.
Can I really make a difference?
You can. Visit 1millionmoms.com.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, almost TP. Former President Trump telling the press he did nothing wrong, moments after leaving a jail in Fulton County, Georgia.
You should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you're going to have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference.
Former Judiciary Committee counsel Julian Epstein says this prosecutor doesn't have a case.
I still think that if you are going to bring a case against the former president, it has got to be a compelling case, not just to 12 jurors, but to the country as a whole. I'm not sure that this does that. I think there are a number of questions. The first question I have is that I have not heard a good answer to is how did it take the local prosecutors, and I'm saying this is Democrat, how did it take the local prosecutors 3.5 years, nearly 4 years to bring this case? Why have they not answered the question about Connie Willis's conflict of interest? She held a fundraiser for the opponent of one of the targets of this investigation. We haven't heard any answer to that question. Third, generally when a state and a federal government take on a very similar, almost identical case, the state would have to have a rather distinct and articulable interest, a separate interest. What is the strong interest that the state has here that is not being served by the federal prosecution?
House lawmakers are trying to get to the bottom of why the president's son got a job as a board member of a Ukrainian energy company, as well as his tax crimes and what's being called a sweetheart plea deal. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy reacts.
At a minimum, the evidence brought forth by the House and by Senator Grassley, by the way, in the Senate, is clarion clear that President Biden was well aware of what his son was doing, and he aggressively enabled it. How did Hunter Biden earn these millions of dollars? Is it because he's so smart? How smart is it to turn over a laptop with incriminating information to a stranger? How smart is it to try to deduct your hookers on your federal income tax?
Expect to hear more about masks and shots in the future. Chris Woodward has more.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports a recent uptick in COVID-19 patients. As of this moment, the CDC says older Americans and other so-called high-risk groups should consider wearing things such as an N95 mask. The agency stopped short of making a broad recommendation for everyone to adopt masks, but things could change in the months ahead if hospitalizations become a concern. Twyla Brace is a registered nurse and president of Citizens Council for Health Freedom. She's not on board with the mask idea.
The masks are a charade, and I can't help but wonder if this is just a continual drumbeat for keeping the public under control and in fear and willing to comply with whatever the CDC's next step is, which is probably just trying to get them to take the COVID shot.
Speaking of the COVID shot, the Biden administration believes it is safe and effective against the spread, but not Brace.
People who have had the COVID shot are more likely to get COVID again and again. And this has nothing to do with the mask. It has to do probably with what the COVID shot has done to their immunity. Get your ivermectin, get your hydroxychloroquine, get your early treatment kit, get prepared to just give yourself the antivirals that are necessary.
I'm Chris Woodward.
Maui County, Hawaii has released a list containing the names of 338 people who remain unaccounted for since the deadly wildfires. The FBI validating the names of the list as having a first name, a last name, and a verified contact number for each missing person. More news online at afn.net and the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Q.
AFA is no longer dependent on Facebook or YouTube to live stream our original programming. As of now, American Family Radio shows like Today's Issues, The Court, Airing the Addisons, and The Hamilton Corner are streaming live on the AFA streaming app. Independent live streaming is the next step as we come out from among them and separate ourselves unto the Lord. Search AFA Streaming or visit streaming.afa.net to sign up. This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
Ahoy, and good morning, esteemed professors.
They can't take boats or something, or
I guess they could, but
Then they wouldn't be in a trivia question.
that's true. That was Yosemite Sam.
I
think
you got the wrong play, Ed. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Friday right here on American Family Radio. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim Alvin. Again, we thank you for joining us. In studio with me is Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
J.J. Jasper, pride of Owensboro, Kentucky.
glad to be here.
How many years did you grow up in Owensboro there?
28 years. And then I'm just now getting that tar and feathers off of me. And they ran me out of town on the rail. Yeah, that stuff it holds on like a barrel of whiskey.
If you happen to be in the area in Owensboro, Kentucky, you always recommend a restaurant there, right?
Moonlight Barbecue.
Okay.
Presidents have eaten there, governors, movie stars, mutton and burgoo. You're not going to hear that.
And they're still in business,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. But you're not going to hear that. I did not realize, because I grew up there, that the whole world didn't know about mutton and burgoo. Now I've gone to other places, and they have a specialty. And if you don't travel a lot, or if you're sheltered like I was growing up, you have all kinds of different foods in different parts of the country.
What's mutton and burgoo made of?
It's made of lamb, which is really good
Ostensibly.
Sheep. Yeah, sheep.
Under
It's
normal
good.
circumstances.
That's right. Yeah.
So you got lamb and
Lamb.
so it's built around lamb, then you put a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Well, that's the burgoo. The burgoo is like something stew. There's a something stew, real popular stew. But it's like that, but they use sheep.
All right.
And then
So if you go
potatoes.
to Owensboro, Kentucky, go to the Moonlight Cafe.
Go to the Moonlight Barbecue Restaurant.
Barbecue restaurant.
Yeah,
All right.
there was like in one of the military bases, they got in trouble because when they were doing their routine maneuvers, they were flying to Owensboro and eating lunch. And then flying back. I mean, who wouldn't?
All right, Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio, also known as
Learning University.
Learning University, that wasn't a sync, but we'll come back and do that again later. Is on the air.
I don't know why you keep trying
I
to
know.
get us in sync.
Well, the older we get, the less in sync we are.
Yeah.
I noticed that as the years go by.
We're never going to do good as those underwater swimmers. We'll be terrible at that.
No, that's.
Underwater swimmers.
I think they're on top of the water.
On top of the water.
Yeah.
That's right. I think
They're half and half.
We would be underwater.
The underwater
Yeah.
swimmers, you're thinking of a mafia hit.
No, oh my word. Yeah, on top of the water, synchronized swimmers. Yeah, we would be terrible at that.
All right, so we're going to ask 3 questions
It's
each.
first time callers. We need to get folks, because nobody's calling in.
Okay, do we want to go in any kind of order here, or are we just going to all interrupt each other?
Well, there's nobody
Judge
calling in,
Paul's
and Cindy has to get them all in line.
Right.
So
All right, Ed, go ahead and tell us what's the
Okay.
first thing is we need callers, right, Ed?
yeah, we got to get callers lined up. It is first time callers. So if you have never gotten on the air with us for Trivia Friday, today could be your day. So call this number 888-589-8840. I'm encouraging you to call, folks. There's not a single person on my computer.
Something's wrong with there.
This may be your time to do it right now, to get in. Call in 888-589-8840. Now the folks are calling in.
Something happened. We triggered something here.
Yeah, we triggered something. We got people calling in.
All right, so first-time callers only today, and we welcome your calls. Now, we're going to ask 3 questions each, and we're going to ask you to call in and answer one, and ask and ask us a trivia question. That's how we like to do this. You don't have to. You can do either or, but we prefer that you do both. And if you answer the mystery question correctly, you will hear this sound. The beloved cowbell.
Oh, the beloved cowbell.
Cowbell shall ring. You will know. All the world will know you've won yourself an AFR stainless steel travel mug. All right.
Nice little tumbler.
It's some people call it half a mug, but hopefully we'll be able to afford whole mugs sometime.
One day we will.
Half an AFR travel mug will be sent your way if you answer that trivia question correctly. Ed, you want to tell them about the rules about the age limits and all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here. Folks, you have to be 11 years old or older. Now, I'm not talking about how old you act.
Right.
I'm talking about how old you are. So you've got to be 11 years old or older. We have no limit on the top of the age bracket. You're 103, 104, and you have a cell phone and know how to use it. That'd be shocking. But you're welcome to call in. But that's it. That's the only age limit we have.
I shouldn't tell this. My wife was on the phone with her mom last night. Bless her heart, trying to explain how to do things on a cell phone.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, it was.
It
was funny. It was funny if you weren't the one trying to tell them how to do it.
Would you care to
risk
annihilation and share a little more?
I want Thanksgiving dinner without poison in it. So
hey, I'm going to take her side because my girls gang up on me and they say, "Dad, what are you doing? We can't believe you don't know how to do this." And they laugh and mock. And one time during that, like a simple thing that they all knew how to do, and I didn't. And they said, "We just can't believe that." And I said, "Hey, I taught you how to use a spoon." So there's your mic drop.
Right, exactly. All right, Ed, go ahead. Is that all we got to say?
Yeah, I will just say this. If you want to watch us do this program, we do have a live video stream. You go to Facebook, search for Today's Issues. That is the name of this program. On Friday, we call it Trivia Friday. Or go to our own streaming service, streaming.afa.net.
All right, talking about watching the show, we've got a guest in studio, observer.
Daniel Brown from Brandon.
I live in Madison,
Mississippi, Jackson area. And
team needed a 65-year-old place kicker, and my name came up.
Anyway, welcome, brother. And we do have folks drop by, especially in the summer. So drop by and visit our studios and our offices here in Tupelo. And we welcome everybody. You got to tell us if you're coming ahead of time. That's helpful.